Hello everyone, this is part 28 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Dojutsu, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto immediately Kobayashi across the face, sending the Inuzuka skidding back as he rubbed his cheek. The blonde had the most serious glare that anyone had ever seen him give before. He right hand cackled from the Chidori before he turned back to Kobayashi. "I'm going to make you pay for all those times," Naruto yelled, and Kobayashi chuckled at him before his hair grew more feral. His teeth lengthened and his claws grew longer. "Is that so? Well, bring it on, brat. I can finally KO you just like I had planned," Kobayashi said before he vanished in a burst of speed. Naruto growled before he vanished also. Ayaka stayed on the sidelines to watch the fight before actually intervening. Naruto dodged a punch from Kobayashi and backflipped away before he charged at the Inuzuka male. "Chidori!" Naruto shouted out as he made a straight line towards Kobayashi, only for the man to dodge the attack before throwing a shuriken at the blonde Hokage. Naruto easily parried the shot with a kunai before he threw the same kunai at Kobayashi. It grazed the Inuzuka's cheek, making it B before he swiped some of the B and licked it with a satisfied grin. "Well, you're not weak, I'll give you that, but I'm just getting warmed up," Kobayashi said, and Naruto closed his eyes. He felt so pissed off at the moment. He opened back his eyes and glared. He concentrated both his eyes on Kobayashi's form with both eyes as the Mangekyo Sharingan and Shinseinagan started showing flames. The blonde widened his eyes when he saw the fire surrounding Kobayashi. It wasn't black, rather it was pure white. It was like a different Amaterasu technique. "What is that fire? It's not my Amaterasu, and yet I feel that I can use it so skillfully," Naruto thought before Kobayashi noticed the flames. He quickly jumped out of the middle of the attack, but Naruto turned his eyes to his form and the fire quickly burned Kobayashi's left leg. The Inuzuka winced at the pain before Naruto disappeared in the Hiraishin. He quickly appeared next to Kiba and Haku while he saw Kobayashi growling at him. Everyone else looked at the blonde in awe. Naruto was staying on even terms with Kobayashi for the moment, and it amazed them all, especially Kiba and Haku. Kimimaro didn't really seem surprised, but he felt a lot of admiration. The same could be said for Tayuya, who felt like she was seeing a different side of the blonde. Kurotsuki gasped at the blonde using the one jutsu that decimated her village's forces. It was amazing to see it in action. "Not bad, brat. You certainly live up to your Tokubutsu Jonanla," Kobayashi said, but Naruto didn't respond. He sighed and closed his eyes before the sand and dirt around the area began to swirl. It made Kobayashi cover his eyes before he smiled. "All right, brat. I haven't had a real workout, so I'll play with you," Kobayashi answered to Naruto's rise in chakra, and his curse seal extended across his body. He smirked and quickly erased any distance between himself and Naruto. The blonde didn't react before Kobayashi's fist came into contact with a wall of sand. Everyone seemed surprised while Kobayashi glared. "Sabaku no Yari, sand spears," Naruto shouted out, making Kobayashi quickly maneuver through the dozens of sand spears that came from the sand. However, he wasn't fast enough as one grazed his cheek and others spilled the sides of his clones. When it was done, Kobayashi looked a mess, but he sure didn't feel that way at all. Naruto, however, wasn't done with his fight as he jumped into the air. He crossed his arms and gained a small sense of his Kekai Genkai. "Karamatsu no Mai, Dance of the Larch," Naruto yelled out as he sent bones from his body and shot them towards Kobayashi. Kimimaro widened his eyes at the use of his Kekai Genkai before everyone watched the explosion of the attack into the ground. Naruto narrowed his eyes before he dropped to the ground, but he only met a punch to the face that sent him through several trees until it made a big explosion. "Naruto-kun!" Haku yelled while Tayuya cursed. Kiba balled his fists while he tried to get up, but a gentle hand from Haku made him stop. Naruto winced at the pain before he got to his feet. He huffed and placed his hand on a tree while he caught his breath. That punch almost shook his entire body. Naruto, of course, had seen the curse mark in action before. 2 or 3 times to be exact, but this was just so weird. No one hit that hard, but the blonde could hit just as hard as he balled his fists. He cracked a smile before he brushed the side of his cheek. Sum-chan's gonna be so pissed when she learns of this, Naruto thought to himself before he walked out of the clearing. He saw Kobayashi waiting for him before the Inuzuka turned around and Ayaka chuckled. For a brat he doesn't go down easily. Stop playing around Kobayashi and K him. You should be able to take on a Tokubutsu Jonin easily, Ayaka told him and the Inuzuka smiled with a nod. I don't get any fun at all, he said before he saw Naruto running at him. The blonde aired his fist back and fused it with chakra before he s Kobayashi across the face sending the man crashing through the forest while Ayaka widened her eyes. Naruto sighed and huffed while he looked at his fist. The chakra control for Tsunde's strength is still off. I'll need to correct it later, but damn I must say that's a good punch, Naruto thought to himself before he saw Kobayashi rub his jaw. Damn that hurt like hell even for someone like him. Kobayashi had never been hit that hard by anyone in his life. Not even by Sum. He growled before he glared dangerously at Naruto. You're pushing my patience, brat, Kobayashi said to him, but Naruto raised his hand and smiled as he waved it in a way to tell Kobayashi to bring it on. The Inuzuka grew a tick mark on his head and twitched his lips. He quickly spun his body as the winds picked up violently. All around him there seemed to be a fierce tornado while Kiba looked up in awe. He figured that he couldn't be surprised, but there was still something to admire about the technique even if it was from his bastard of a father. Inuzuka Ru, Gatsumaki, Inuzuka technique, fang-piercing tornado, Kobayashi yelled as he spiraled down at Naruto. The blonde widened his eyes at the large spiraling taijutsu move coming for him. He quickly moved his sand to cover his family and Kuretsuki. Kusa Boheiki, Sky Sand defensive wall, the blonde yelled while the others were inside. He's so strong, Kuretsuki said while Kiba gave a painful chuckle inside the shield. He felt Haku still helping him before he smiled. You haven't seen anything yet, Kiba said and Kuretsuki looked at the Inuzuka as she wondered what he knew that she didn't. Damn that's protecting us like this. We should be protecting him, Tayuya said as she connected the ground with her fist in anger. Everyone couldn't help but agree while Naruto faced the technique outside. He quickly held out his hand and the Rasengan was made quickly before the blonde held up a single hand signs. Kaiten, Kain Nagare, fire release, flame stream, Naruto yelled as he blew the small fire into the Rasengan turning it dark red. The blonde smiled before he closed his eyes and added his lightning nature to the ball of chakra. The current flew all around the Rasengan making it even more powerful while Kobayashi noticed it. It's too late for that, he yelled, but Naruto jumped into the air and yelled. Goen Rasengan, flaming thunder sphere, the blonde shouted as the two techniques collied. Ayaka closed her eyes and got behind a tree before a massive explosion took place making everyone inside widen their eyes. What's going on? Kuretsuki asked, but no one had an answer before the explosion down. The wall of sand crumbled and everyone looked to see the forest destroyed while Kobayashi stood huffing and Naruto did the same. The two glared at each other before the curse mark extended over Kobayashi's body while Naruto's body started to leak out red chakra. Everyone gasped, but Kobayashi widened his eyes and stopped with a smile. No, not yet. I need to go all out on this brat or I won't be happy with it, Kobayashi said and the curse seal stopped while Naruto raised an eyebrow. You're lucky brat. I'm going to let you live for now, but word of warning. Stay away from Sum or I won't be responsible for what happens to her, Kobayashi said and Naruto settled for glaring at the man. HMPH and if you do something to her then I won't be responsible for what I will do to you, the blonde said and Kobayashi chuckled before he gave a simple nod. Whatever. Come on Ayaka, it's time to go. Oh and brat, Kobayashi said to Kiba making him growl. Try to get better. You really need to man up if you can, he said before the two disappeared. Everyone waited for a few minutes, but they couldn't sense Kobayashi's presence anymore and on that note everyone sighed. Man, it was touch and go from there. Thanks for the assist Naruto, Kiba said and the blonde turned to him with a small smile on his face. Don't worry about it Kiba. I can't have you kick the bucket just yet. Who knows what Sum and Hana would do to me, Naruto joked and Kiba rolled his eyes before Tayuya jabbed Naruto in the shoulder. HMPH I could have taken that guy. You didn't have to interfere, she said embarrassed at the fact that Naruto might have thought that she couldn't handle it. Oh, have no doubt that you might have, but I did it anyway. For now you can all relax, Naruto said, and Kiba watched Kurotsuki leave. What about you? I thought you wanted to chaos, he yelled out, making everyone glance at the dark-haired girl, and Kurotsuki growled as she stopped her foot on the ground, making the others chuckle. Shut up. Can't you see I'm tired? She asked while everyone took a glance at her torn-up clothes and the state she was in. Kurotsuki blushed and turned around. Besides, you sort of saved me, I guess I'll let you go. Now just get out of here already, she demanded, and everyone nodded as they got to her feet while Kiba snickered and rubbed the back of his head. I knew you weren't a bad person. No one as cute as you could be that bad, he said while Naruto widened his eyes. Kurotsuki stopped and scratched her cheek while her face gave another blush from the Inuzuka's compliment. She'd never been called cute before, so that was a new one on her, but that doesn't mean that she would admit it. Shut up and go, she said, not looking back for fear of having them see her blush. Naruto nodded and grabbed everyone together while Kiba smiled. See you later, Kurotsuki-chan, he said before Naruto disappeared in the Hiraishin along with everyone else while Kurotsuki turned around to see that they were gone. She narrowed her eyes before hopping to a tree with a sigh. HMPH weirdo, she thought before leaving the scene to go and report it to her old man. Back with Naruto. The blonde and his group fell to the ground in the Konoha road where Shizune, Anko and Kurenai stood. The three women gasped, as did the civilians at the drop of Konoha shinobi. Naruto got to his feet almost immediately and rubbed the back of his head. Shizune, please inform the medical staff that they're going to have some visitors, Naruto told her, and the middle-aged secretary absently nodded before she ran off while Kurenai and Anko helped everyone to their feet. What happened to you guys? Anko asked, and Naruto waved it off with a smile on his face. I'll tell you later. For now I've got to go to the archives, but first a change of clothes, again, he said as he went home to change. Meanwhile, Shizune escorted the medic nin to the scene as they helped carry everyone away. One change of clothes later. Naruto appeared next to Anko and Kurenai while he sighed. He rubbed the back of his neck as he felt a few stiff knots beginning to form. It must have been the fight, but he would deal with it later. For right now, he still had things that he needed to get done. Come with me, I'll tell you the story on the way, Naruto said as he rubbed his head. This was going to be a long day. He was so sure of that. With Fu, Kasumi and Yugito. The three had marked the cave that had the strange crystals inside with a map to guide them. They spotted the hole where they fell through and figured that they were still somewhere on the Namika's grounds. Alright, so which way should we go? Kasumi asked while Fu scratched her cheek. Man, this is confusing. There should be an easier way to do this, she said before Yugito gasped. Oh, I have something that I can do, she said as she cracked her knuckles. Fu and Kasumi wondered what she was about to do before Yugito took out a kunai and some wire. She quickly tossed it up through the hole in the ground and it connected with a tree. She pulled on the wire hard, making sure it was steady, and smiled. There. If we all go up one at a time, then we'll be fine. Come on, Yugito said as she climbed the wire. It was very small, but it was fine and steady. She crawled out through the hole and looked to see the Namika's compound still standing. Kasumi came out next and then Fu did. They looked at the warm sun and sighed in bliss. How long were we down there? Kasumi asked and Fu sighed. 2 or 3 hours, maybe even 4, she said before her stomach grumbled, making her blush. Yugito and Kasumi giggled before theirs did the same, and the three looked at each other. Maybe we should all get something to eat, Kasumi announced, and the two others quickly agreed. So what are we having? Yugito asked, and Kasumi's tail wagged left and right with a smile on her face. I propose ramen, she said with her fist in the air, making Fu smile and Yugito sweet drop. What's so good about ramen? She asked and eagerly grabbed her hand and walked off. Ever since she could eat human food, she could understand why Naruto loved the tasty noodles so much. They were amazing to her taste. Trust us, you've never had ramen like this before, Fu said as they pushed Yugito in the direction of the ramen stand despite her protests to the constant shoves. Konoha Archives. Naruto walked up to the place of the Konoha Archives and sighed as he finished the story. He looked to see Anko and Kurenai reaction. So Kobayashi is with Orochimaru. I always knew he was an A, but that's just downright low, Anko said, and Naruto nodded. Still, I'm amazed that you didn't give a chase, Naruto-kun. Kurenai spoke, and the blonde narrowed his eyes and balled his fists. Oh, trust me that I wanted to. I really did, but I knew the others needed help. Plus I am not going to chase him with how strong he is. He's somewhere right below Orochimaru in strength. If it was completely one-on-one, then I doubt I could win. I had tried to catch him in a Tsukuyomi, but he knows how to fight the Sharingan and directly avoided my eyes, so it'll be tough, Naruto told them while Anko smiled. Well, he'd better hope that I don't fight him. I'll kick his Anko yelled, making Naruto chuckle while Kurenai held her head down in embarrassment. Although, you two should get ready for tonight. It's time for me to take you two on your dates, and I would love to see two lovely ladies in their clothes, Naruto said, making Kurenai widen her eyes as she remembered the deal with the headbands, and Anko snickered while she placed a finger to her chin. Ooh, I can't wait for it, Foxy-kun, she said, and Naruto snickered along with her as they saw two Jonin guarding the door. It was Inoki and Shibi. He really saw those two outside the council room, so that was new to the blonde. The two Jonin noticed the young Hokage walking before he stopped. So it's your turn to guard the archives, huh? He asked, and they nodded. It's sort of a boring job, but we get it done, Inoki uttered while Shibi folded his arms. It's for the best, Inoki. Stop sighing already, Shibi said to him, and Inoki did so, but only because he wanted to stop and not for any other reason. So what brings you here today, Naruto? Inoki asked, dropping the honorific since he knew that the blonde didn't like such things. I need to get inside for a little bit. Along with Kurenai and Anko. We won't be long depending on some things, the Uzumaki head said to his subordinates, and they nodded as they opened the door before they heard a yell. They all turned around to see Sasuke running towards the blonde, and Naruto rolled his eyes with a small sigh. Hey loser, I told you I wouldn't let you out of my sight, Sasuke said, and Inoki narrowed his eyes. Uchiha, show the Hokage some respect, Inoki demanded, and Shibi agreed while Naruto shook his head. It's alright, you guys. Thanks, but the team is like that. I just learned to deal with it. Alright Sasuke, come on then. You'll follow me into the archives, but I will be helping me with my research that I need done. Understand? The blonde asked, and Sasuke nodded, but soon they heard another yell. Sasuke-kun. Sakura called, and the Uchiha paled. He looked to Naruto, giving him the hidden message, and the blonde rolled his eyes while he rubbed the bridge of his nose. Yeah, I know. Inoki-san, Shibi-san, please don't let her in here, Naruto said as he, Anko, Kurenai and Sasuke disappeared with a nod from the two Jonin. Hey, where did Sasuke-kun go? Sakura wondered before Inoki pointed in the opposite direction and watched the pink-haired girl run off in said direction, making them sweet drop. Remind me why Naruto-sama doesn't take her out of the shinobi program, Inoki said to his partner, and Shibi gave a faceless expression before he sighed. Because it would be an abuse of power, and we both know that Hokage-sama isn't like that, Shibi said, and Inoki nodded. Thank Kami that Ino was coming out of that phase and she was starting to get serious about her training. It really made the Yamanaka head happy. With Naruto, Konoha archives. Naruto, Anko, Kurenai and Sasuke traversed the large halls of the archives and looked in awe of it. Inside here was the records of every action or past action that happened since the founding of the village. Man, this is a lot of ground to cover in such a short time that I need. Well, anyway, I'll tell you three. We're going to be searching through the archives for any records on Konoha's natural disasters, Naruto said, making the two mistresses and the Uchiha raise their eyebrows at him while Naruto sighed. It's something that needs to be done for the cryptanalysis division. It's sort of a small side project that I need to get done. I'll make sure that this doesn't take long, and who knows, Sasuke. You might find something interesting in here also, but you will tell me of all the things you found just as a precaution. Got it? Naruto asked, and Sasuke sighed. Yeah, I got it, Sasuke said to him, and Naruto turned around. Alright, you three. Let's get to work. We have a lot of ground to cover and almost no time to do it, Naruto responded, and just like that, everyone did so as they went from scroll to scroll looking through the archives. Cryptanalysis Department. Kushina, Kyuubi and Nanabe were still helping Shiho and Shikaku with the swords, and soon Yugao came through the door as Shikaku had called her to give them some help. What's the matter? Yugao asked, and Kushina held up a sword. Noticing the unique design, Yugao could quickly imagine what it exactly was. Where did you get Naruto-kun's swords? Yugao asked them and Kushina set one down. He told us to investigate them. I want a second opinion being a kenjutsu master myself. Tell me, what can you derive from these swords? Kushina asked and Yugao shook her head. Naruto-kun had me looking at them a few weeks ago during the Hokage placement test. I told him that they were really strong and very special. Even more special than any Anbu sword could be. I told him that they looked to be made from a master who really knew what they were doing. Those were made to perfect in every sense of the word. I don't see why you need my help, she said and Kushina sighed. Well, Kushina might be the only one who can decipher this since she knows more about swirl symbols, Kyubi said and Kushina looked at it intently before setting it down. A swirl has multiple meanings, but since we're talking about the past then I think I know. I swirl was the mystery of the water during those times. Mito Bakan once told me this saying, people are ever changing just like the swirling tide of the waters. I think that's what she meant. The swirl represents change. It's about adaptation, Kushina said with a certain smile that she was right. Everyone looked at the swirl and then at the star. Man, so bothersome. So we have the light that shines in the darkness for the star and for the swirl we have change or adaptation to something. This is weird. It feels more like a prophecy if not anything else, Shikaku said and everyone could agree with him on that. Alright, we have those, but what's the square for? Shiho asked and Nanabe narrowed her eyes at the small box. Hang on a minute. Let me see that for a second, she said to them and Shiho gave the seven-tailed Bayu the paper while her harem sister, Kyubi, looked over her shoulder. The two Bayu squinted their eyes before they gasped. Oh no, this is bad. Very very bad, they thought at the same time. With Itachi and kiss him. Hurry up, kiss him. We're going to Konoha for the Kyubi Jinchuriki, Itachi said and Kisum gave a confused expression. He wondered what could be wrong with Itachi at the moment and sighed. This is going against the leader's orders. Besides, what do you have to do there anyway? Kisum asked and Itachi stopped. He closed his eyes for a few minutes and turned back to Kisum, his partner. It's not something that I'm doing on a whim. Rather this is something that must be done. However, tread lightly, Kisum. You know how strong Kushina-san is as she almost KU more than one time. You still have that scar, Itachi to him and Kisum growled remembering the little incident while he rubbed his sea. Don't remind me. When I see that Be'll make Samehada eat her alive, the shark man said, but Itachi ignored it for the time being. Very well then. Let's go Kisum, Itachi told him and the two shot off without any concerns for anything else. Iwa, late at night. Kuretsuki had finished her report of what had happened and needless to say this, but Onoki wasn't sure how to feel at the moment. He was happy his granddaughter was safe, but to hear that Konoha was near their borders along with the Yondaim's son no less, well that just made it a little bitter. Now he felt indebted to Konoha for saving his granddaughter. Are you sure that's all that happened? Onoki asked and Kuretsuki nodded with a sigh. She was really tired from the day and it was just too long for her taste. Yes, that was everything, Gigi, but can I ask something? The dark-haired Chunin asked and the Tsuchikage nodded. Kuretsuki gave a soft breath and rubbed the back of her head. Well, old man, not saying that I can't or will forgive him, but do you think it's right for you to hate the Yondaim's son? Kuretsuki asked and Onoki stopped writing. He looked up at her and wondered what she was getting at making the teen gulp. I just mean that it's not his fault that we're gone. Plus what would K him accomplish? Do you really think you'll get back at the Yondaime by K his son? I don't think that you can get back at someone who is already S, Kuretsuki said as she tried to remember when Naruto and Kiba fought against Kobayashi. They were really strong and while Kiba wasn't as strong as Naruto he still made up for it in heart. Even when she was fighting she didn't do nearly the same amount of damage that Kiba did. Where did this come from? You're no starting to like Konoha, are you? He asked and Kuretsuki blushed as she s the table. Of course not. What's there to like about them? Or that idiot with the dog on his head? Who said I was thinking about him? I'm not okay, so you can get off my back, old man. Kuretsuki yelled as she folded her arms and turned her head with a scoff making Onoki sweet drop. What's this about a boy with a dog on his head? And why is she being so defensive? Ugh. Women and their troubles, Onoki thought to himself before he saw Kuretsuki leave, but not before the door making it cringe. Onoki sighed before he looked out the window. He thought over Kuretsuki's words before he closed his eyes. Never thought the day would come when my granddaughter would knock some sense into me. Hell must be freezing over right now, the old cage said to himself before he got back to some work. With Naruto. On the tables were scrolls littered as many clones of the blonde were scattered around the room. Anko and Kurenai were scanning the scrolls also, and Sasuke was doing the same. Granted, he'd rather go train his off than spend time with Naruto of all people, but the blonde said he'd see Itachi faster if he stayed close, then that's what he would do. Nothing in this one. Man, let's face it. This is a boring village. No natural disaster hasn't happened here since. Sasuke trailed off as he read down a scroll. He widened his eyes and his mouth hung in the air while he read the scroll. Hey loser. I think I have it. Sasuke yelled and Naruto dispelled his clones. Anko and Kurenai stopped reading and they all walked over to Sasuke as the Uchiha handed Naruto the scroll. Awesome, nice one team, the blonde said before he unfurled the scroll while Sasuke pointed to the specific date as Naruto read down the scroll. Year. June 6th. This year Konoha experienced its worst natural disaster. A fierce raging firestorm had appeared and made its way to the village. The time of the age was of Tobirama Senju. The fire decimated the village and was called the Great Fire of Konoha. It burned through the village for 3 days. Thousands of lives were lost of men, women and children. It was thanks to the efforts of Tobirama Senju that the fire finally escaped down. No one knew what caused the fire. A full investigation was made, but with no results. It was concluded to be natural. To this day, we all still have a fear that such a fire will return and lay waste to the village. Naruto stopped reading and Anko widened her eyes. Kurenai glared while Naruto got to his feet. Is this what Shiho was taking about? Man, this is weird, but I'll need to take this for right now. Well, that's it. It's late and I need to go home. May will be arriving tomorrow, so I'll stop here, Naruto said to himself before he turned to them. Alright, you guys can go home. Thanks for the help. I'm going to go somewhere for a bit, Naruto said as he used the Hiraishin to leave the room, but not before giving Anko and Kurenai a wink as he left, making them blush and giggle. Konoha Hospital. Naruto put the scroll away into his pocket as he came into the hospital. He looked around the room and watched as people acknowledged him one by one, and he paid them all a sincere thanks. He had asked if he could see his friends and the doctors said that he could, so he would do just that. Naruto stopped in front of Haku's room and opened the door, and to his surprise, he found her reading a small book. He grinned while Haku seemed surprised to watch him staring. Naruto-kun, what are you doing here? Haku asked, and the blonde shrugged his shoulders as he sat down in a chair next to the bed. Just wanted to see how you and the others were holding up. You had a rough day today, Naruto told Aoi, and Haku could honestly agree with him on that, as she did have a hard day and she would just like to rest. So what are you reading? Naruto asked, and Haku showed the cover to the blonde Hokage. Shinobi Tactics. Despite the name, it is a good book, she said, and Naruto smiled as he placed his hand over hers, making Haku look at him weirdly. What's wrong? She asked, and Naruto sighed. I was really worried when you flared your chakra through the seal. I didn't know what had happened to you and I was just so scared when I saw you like that. Haku, I feel like you've gotten a little distant from me lately. Why is that? Naruto asked, and Haku raised an eyebrow. She didn't know if she was avoiding the blonde or not, but she could tell that he really wanted an answer and she wouldn't deny him on. Naruto-kun, I'm not intentionally distancing myself from you. It's complicated, Haku said to him, and Naruto widened his eyes. What is it? I didn't do something, did I? He asked, and Haku smiled at how he would instantly try to fix a problem like his life depended on it. No, it's not your fault, nor did you do anything. I just didn't want to mess it up, she said quietly, but Naruto could still hear her quite well. Mess what up? He asked, and Haku gulped from the close distance. The relationship you and I have. I've never been in a real relationship or even a fake one, so I'm scared to try and do anything, especially if it's with the man I care about, Haku said, and Naruto widened his eyes. He softened his gaze and smiled. Really, Haku-chan, do you really think that I have a fake relationship with you? Naruto asked Aoi, and Haku quickly shook her as that wasn't what she had meant. And no, of course not. I'm just saying that, Naruto quickly Haku, making her gasp at the feeling. It was actually her first that she had ever got from any guy. Naruto tasted the warmness of Haku's lips before he backed away, causing her mouth to hang up. Haku, I won't rush you. Just go at your own pace here. It's not like I'm going to outcast you like some random guy would, Naruto told her, and Haku touched her lips. She blushed before, against her will, a smile beamed across her face. I understand, Naruto-kun. I'm sorry for, Naruto stopped her and smiled. Just get better and come back home with me. Where your clan is, Naruto told her, and Haku smiled with a nod as Naruto closed the door, leaving Haku to her thoughts on the matter. Naruto would have gone to see Kiba, but he appeared to be busy with Tenten and Ino. The blonde looked through the window to see the two Konoha Kanoiki fighting over who got to take care of the Inuzuka, to which Kiba shook his head at them both. He noticed Naruto in the doorway and smiled with a wave while the blonde did the same. He was happy that his best friend would come to visit, but he knew that the blonde would have to be insane to come in at the moment, so Naruto quickly left. He had seen that Kimimaro was sleeping and so was Tayuya. The blonde figured he could help them both train, since removing their curse seals meant a severe drop in power for them both, but on that note the blonde was about to leave the hospital only for him to be pulled to the side by Tsume and Hana. The both of them had glares that showed this was no time to be fooling around and it was straight seriousness. Naruto-kun, please don't lie to me. Did you and Kiba meet Kobayashi today? Tsume asked, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. He turned to Hana and she nodded before turning back. He could never lie to Tsume, and even if he did then he sucked at it. He was too good of an honest person to try it with the girls he loved. Yeah, I did. Kiba and Haku met him unexpected near one of Orochimaru's bases. As far as I was told, they fought with him. Kobayashi was too strong and he almost ended up Kiba had I not arrived, Naruto said, making Hana and Tsume widen their eyes before the latter snarled. She gritted her teeth when Naruto said that. She almost lost her son to his own father. Tsume trembled, but the next words that Naruto said seemed to have calmed her down. Once I got there I fought him for a bit. I will say this, Tsume-chan, he's strong as he managed to stay on even terms with what I threw at him, and yet he wasn't using all of his curse mark. I'm going to deal with this, Naruto said with the hardest glare that he had, and Tsume widened her eyes along with Hana. No, you're not. That's my job. I should have done it long ago, but Kobayashi will be handled by me. This is my fight, Tsume said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. Hana gulped as she watched her mother leave, but Naruto balled his fists. Tsume, I'm not losing you or Hana to anyone. I said I would take care of it, Naruto said, and Tsume stopped. Naruto, this is an Inuzuka matter. I can't let you interfere in my business, Tsume said, and Naruto widened his eyes. The head of the Inuzuka clan closed her eyes and walked away while Naruto bit his lower lip enough to make it be. Tsume, as your Hokage, I order you to stand down and let me deal with it, Naruto yelled, making Hana gasp while Tsume stopped. She slowly sent her head to the ground and balled her fists. Naruto closed his eyes from seeing how she would take that and sighed. Yes, Hokage-sama, Tsume said, making Naruto open his eyes. He could hear the hurt and sadness in her voice as she walked off. Naruto sighed and Hana squirmed slightly. Naruto-kun, don't feel bad about it. I think you did it right. Ka-chan is reckless when it comes to Tu-chan. Trust me that she doesn't want you to get involved in something that she feels she should naturally deal with, Hana said before walking off to catch up to her mother. Ka-chan, she started, but Tsume stayed silent and continued to walk off while Hana sighed. Their first fight. Hana knew there was a first time for everything, but that could have been handled better. Naruto rubbed the back of his head and sighed. That was probably the hardest thing he'd ever have to say to Tsume. He just wanted her to understand that she didn't have to handle everything alone, and that she, no matter how tough she tried to act, could rely on him for lots of other things. Great, that's just great for me, isn't it? Oh well, I guess I'll go get ready. Can't keep Anko and Kurenai waiting. Plus I've got a long night of Fuinjutsu to do with Yugito-chan. Yeah, just perfect, Naruto said half-heartedly as he really just wanted to run up to Tsume and K her again like he always could, but he just couldn't. Not until she calmed down at least. So on that note, Naruto walked off with the remnants of the conversation dwindling into nothingness. With Kobayashi, the Inuzuka arrived at the nearest base and sat in a room with Kabuto and Orochimaru. The two looked at him to see the man in an extremely good mood. What are you so happy about? Kabuto asked, and Kobayashi snickered as he looked at the wall. I fought that brat today. He's quite good, but had I gone with the second stage then he'd have S, Kobayashi said, and Kabuto rolled his eyes before Orochimaru spoke. It would be wise not to underestimate him, Kobayashi-kun. Now then, let make that death certain. Kabuto the vial, Orochimaru said, and Kobayashi watched Kabuto give the snake Sannin the vial. Come here, Kobayashi, Orochimaru said to him, and the Sannin's left-hand man came and took the vial. This will give you the third and most improved stage. You will be the guinea pig. If you survive then you will gain a power beyond comparison, but if not then you Orochimaru said, and Kobayashi opened the vial. He smiled at it and closed his eyes. Can't go through life without taking risks, he said, and quickly drank the liquid inside. Orochimaru and Kabuto watched him finish before Kobayashi crushed the vial. For a few minutes nothing happened, making everyone tense. Ah! Kobayashi yelled as he dropped to the ground. He breathed heavily and coughed. He felt like his life was ending before he pushed his eyes to the back of his head and dropped S. Wow, I guess he didn't survive, Kabuto said, and Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. Psyche, the man said, getting to his feet with a smile on his face. Kabuto's eyebrow twitched while Orochimaru closed his eyes. That's why he liked Kobayashi. The man knew how to have a good joke very now and then despite the situation. So you don't feel any different? Kabuto asked, and Kobayashi shrugged his shoulders at the question. No, not really, I don't feel any different. Kobayashi stopped as his heart pumped. It pumped again and even louder. He clutched his C and groaned in agony as the seal on his arm changed and stared to twist and turn. The sunbi seeped from it before it made the seal glow a darkish purple until it faded into nothing. Kobayashi's heart stopped and Orochimaru stood to his feet. How do you feel now? He asked, and Kobayashi smiled as he closed his eyes. Terrific. I know just who to test this power out on, Kobayashi said as he and Ayakamaru left the room while the Inuzuka had only one thought. I'm coming home soon, Chan. Better be ready to greet the kids again, Kobayashi said with an evil snicker. Konoha, next morning. Naruto was busy signing papers as usual in order to keep himself busy. Last night was actually rather eventful. He had managed to at least draw himself from Sume for a bit, and his teaching Yugito the Fuinjutsu was even more of a mind worker. It was good that she already had some understanding of it or he would have broke down that day, but he could dwell on that later. For right now he was just happy to be busy. He figured that he'd give Sume some time to herself. He never wanted her to be sad, not at all. Soon there was a knock on the door, shaking the blonde from his thoughts. Come in, he said, and Kurenai bowed. Naruto-kun, Mai Terumi-sama is here, Kurenai said, and the blonde got to his feet. He sighed and rubbed the back of his head with a small smile. All right then, send her in, Naruto told his secretary, and Kurenai nodded as she left. Naruto continued to write in some papers before the door opened, and he was graced to the sight of Kiri's Mizukage, which made him immediately blush. Mei stood before Naruto with her associates Chojuro and Ao while everyone took in the appearance of the young blonde. This is Konoha's Hokage. Ridiculous, Ao said in his thoughts while Chojuro gulped. Wow, he must be strong. He's just about my age, Chojuro thought while Mei formed her own opinion of the blonde behind the desk. He's even cuter in person. I could just eat him up, she thought before she smiled and lightly bowed. It's nice to be in the presence of Konoha's Hokage. Thank you for seeing me, Hokage Dono, Mei said in an elegant and sultry voice that made Naruto tremble. The pen in his hand started to shake from his hand twitching as the blonde gulped before getting to his feet. I was really quite surprised to learn that the Mizukage wanted to see me, and even less that she was so pretty, Naruto complimented, making Mei widen her visible eye before she blushed with a small smile. How can you talk to Mizukage-sama so casually? You better take that back. Ao said, making Chojuro sweet drop as he found nothing wrong with it. Ao, calm down. I really appreciated being complimented by such a young, cute and powerful young man, she said, smiling at the blonde, and Naruto smiled right back. Ao and Chojuro watched the interaction between the two and glanced at each other before sighing. So what can I do for you today? Naruto asked, and Mei just continued to smile. Well, would you mind giving me a tour of your lovely village, Hokage Dono? She asked casually, and Naruto lightly chuckled with a simple nod. Sure, but just call me Naruto Mizukage-san. I don't care for the formalities, the blonde told the auburn-haired woman, and Mei smiled with a nod. Very well, then you may call me Mai Terumi as you see fit. Now then, Ao, Chojuro, please get settled. I'll be taking my time with this one, Mei said, wrapping an arm over Naruto's left hand, making him blush before Mei dragged him out the door. Naruto only managed to make a cage bunshin that would handle his work for him as he left. With Mei and Naruto, the two cage hit the streets of Konoha as they walked around. Naruto took Mei to all the nice sights that Konoha had to offer for anyone who was willing to visit or stay at. He showed her the great food places, the best hotels, a few of the gambling joints, and took her to the hot springs, which coincidentally she had asked him to join her in a hot bath, to which the blonde blushed, but ultimately denied to request, which made Mei pout a little, but she accepted it and found it rather cute that he was so endearing and respectful of her person, which made him very nice. And to end it off, Naruto took to the top of the Hokage stone faces, more specifically the Yondaim's head, as he showed her the entire village. What a nice view this place has, Mei said, and Naruto could honestly agree with her, even if the view made him a little, since Tsume wasn't beside him to see the village. Mei noticed his change in attitude and smiled. What's wrong? She asked, and Naruto sighed. Just got into a small fight with my girlfriend, Naruto said, and Mei's mood slowly flattened at the hearing of the word girlfriend. You have a girlfriend? She asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Well, more like girlfriends. CRA and all that, Naruto said, making Mei's mood lighten even more, as she had no problems with sharing anyone, and for some odd reason Naruto could tell that's what she was interested in. Maybe it was just his hunch. So what's the problem? Mei asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. He told her the entire story about Tsume and himself, along with her A for an ex-mate Kobayashi. Mei had of course heard the man, as he was one of Orochimaru's associates while Naruto finished. And that's why she's pissed off at me, Naruto said, and Mei chuckled as she placed a hand on her hip. I suppose the life of a couple isn't easy. While I do think you made the right choice, I don't think that you believe that. You seem like a strong young man who well matured for his age. I think a situation like this is one you're not familiar with. Let's see, I've heard of the Inuzuka clan and their stubbornness in dealing with their own issues. It's been since last night, so yeah, we can easily fix this up. But if I'm right and you two get back together, then I think I should get a reward, Mei said, and Naruto chuckled. It's not going to get me K, is it? He asked, and Mei didn't reply to that, as she let his mind wander about it before she told him the idea. Naruto widened his eyes, before he turned to Mei, and she nodded with a sure smile on her face. With Tsume Inuzuka, Tsume trudged through the village with a scowl on her face, as she was in a bad mood. She had never been ordered like that before, and by Naruto no less, and now she called him to the Hokage mansion for something to talk about, which she really didn't want to do, but she had no choice, and so she went up the flight of stairs before she knocked on the door. Come in, he said, and Tsume opened the door. She quickly closed it as she saw Naruto doing his paperwork. He looked up for a second to see Tsume staring at him with a bit of indifference and a hint of anger, but he wrote it off, as he deserved at least some of it. Seeing the blonde ignore her for paperwork, Tsume narrowed her eyes and grew a tick mark. This guy called her out only for her to waste her time for him to reply. What sort of joke was this anyway? Excuse me, Hokage-sama, but what do you want with me? Tsume asked, and Naruto finished his paperwork. He set down a pile and got up from his seat. He walked over to the window and opened it. He allowed the cool breeze to come into the office, and known to him, Tsume was feeling a little better from the breeze. It's a nice day, isn't it? He asked her with a smile, and Tsume raised an eyebrow. She placed a hand on her hip and sighed. I guess. So are you going to tell me what you want, or can I leave? She asked rather rudely, but Naruto ignored it for the time being. He waved his hand, and immediately Tsume felt the presence of the Anbu leave the room before she turned back to Naruto, who smiled. He walked up to her and closed his eyes. Do you think you can beat me? Naruto asked, and Tsume raised an eyebrow at the question. Naruto simply smiled at her while Tsume growled. Is that a trick question? She asked, and despite her mood she was sort of amused, while Naruto shrugged his shoulders. It is what you think it is. Do you think you can beat me? He asked, and Tsume chuckled. Don't get ahead of yourself. I can beat you, she said, and Naruto set a timer on the desk. He placed it at 30 minutes and smiled as he pointed to the door. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.